Alright guys, welcome back. As of now, this airplane has been maidened, and I'm happy to report that everything went well. I'm not a reviewer of airplanes for any of these manufacturers. I'm just a dude that loves to build and fly. And as far as the ease of assembly and quality of this kit, or this ARF, I don't have an official scale to really rate stuff on. How about 1 to 10? That works good. I would give this plane an overall score of a 9. Now, it flies great. It's a Cub. Most Cubs do. This one, they did a good job of laying out, your engine, your interior, all that stuff, where it went together and it balances perfectly. The finish of everything goes together pretty good. I don't care for these cylinders on the cowl. That's about a half a point reduction. The other point or half point is for the covering. Now, when you get an airplane out of the box, they build these things overseas, different climates, different temperatures, humidities. The wood's going to do things, and the covering's going to reflect the changes, across the world. But just be prepared. You're going to spend a lot of time, if you want to keep this looking good, is a lot of time with your covering iron going over it, because the covering on mine has just been kind of a problem. So I've had to go over it 3 times with the iron, and I mean, I'm talking every bit of the airplane. So wings, tail, all the pieces, the covering has kind of finally started to lay down on the wood and adhere, and the wrinkles have stayed off. Now, the day we flew it in the sun, and plus, just being outdoors and flying it and stuff, I only had a little bit of wrinkles show back up, and they're under the elevator on the bottom, so it's probably an area that I just didn't get very well. But again, that's about a half a point off of the overall score, just because it was a pain. This is the worst plane I've had as far as covering goes out of any ARF, Hangar 9 or Seagull. So that's kind of minor, but if you don't do that stuff, you're going to have a plane that just looks rough. So keep that in mind. Overall, though, the plane flies great. The combo with the Saito, FG-11 motor, they knew what they were doing. They built the plane around that motor setup, and it shows, because installation of the motor, assembly, rigging the throttle, fuel tank, all that was just, if you're experienced doing that, you'll have no problems with this at all. There's no gotchas. There's no anything like that you need to worry about. So the other part is, with a plane that makes it easy is, transport and your field setup. Now, the wings, obviously, are a 2-piece, which is nice. You've got a wing tube, which is rides inside of the airplane. Take the hatch off. One thing on the hatch, since we got that in my hand, I put a piece of tape right there. You can see it. It's just clear Gorilla, like packing tape. I put that on there just so you can get the hatch off a lot easier, because when your wings go on, your leading edge of your wings actually cover up the part that you would pinch to raise it off, so you lose a lot of your, surface area, and you don't want to pinch on the windshield. So a little piece of tape there. I didn't add a whole lot. You can see how much. It's just enough to go on the wood, and that's been holding it on for easy removal. And that's something I think they should have done from the factory, but very, very, very minor. So back to field transport. If you look inside, there's a wing spar or wing tube right there. They've got a nice piece of fuel tubing, I think it is, to kind of cushion it, and then you can push it in all the way back to the tail. So your wing spar is there, so it's kind of hard to leave that behind, if you're going to the field. But the rest of the parts you need to have for field assembly are for your wing struts. And the day I brought it out to Maiden, guess what I forgot? Didn't have wing struts. I had the wing struts because they're on the wing, but the actual clips and pins that attach them to the fuselage. So I had forgotten them at home, and I phoned a friend. My buddy had a set. He brought them out to the field, saved my bacon that day, because otherwise we wouldn't have made in the plane. So, but all that's easy. Doesn't take up too much room in the car. Put it together at the field. If you got everything ready, it's probably a 5-minute assembly process. And anyway, I flew it on a 2S LiPo. I use these high voltage servos, and I like these Spectrum 2S. This is a 4000, which is huge, I know, but it you charge it up 8.4 volts. You can fly all day on that. And that's running, of course, your receiver, your servos, and your ignition. I run one battery for everything. Never had an issue with it. And I'll put a link in the description below of the BEC that I use. It's made by Aero, and it's just been flawless. I run this on every one of my gas planes, and I've never had an issue with it. So, but yeah, just overall good airplane. Negatives, the covering was a big thing. Laying out the interior with the way I've got mine set up, with the gas tank up, you know, right here, battery rides right in the middle, and then, you know, receivers right behind that. There's no way the seats go in there. There's no way the pilot's going to go in there. So it's not the most scale looking interior, but that doesn't bother me the least bit. I build these things to fly them and have fun. And as you'll see if you watch later on, we'll have the Maiden Flight after this here rambling part. So, but here I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you what my interior looks like. Just a very quick overview. That way you can kind of see how I did it. Now the manual doesn't say this is how you have to do it. It's just the way I did it. And for me, it worked out pretty good. So just looking down here in the front, of course, starting at the very front here, Saito FG-11 hides behind this propeller, and your prop spinner nut, which is also an accessory they made for this. I think it's $7 or $8, which is a pretty good deal for that. Now, if you look at the cowling, the original hole is just big enough to fit your drive washer through, but not your pickup sensor there for your ignition. And originally, the first time I ran this, I didn't have that widened out enough, and the engine on the ground was getting hot. I could tell it was hot because you could see a little bit of smoke coming off of it, and it's just kind of gassing off, or whatever you call it, some of the oils. And so I opened that up with my Dremel significantly. You can see the gap here, how wide, and from the sides. So it's not the perfect circular hole, but it works. You need airflow to cool this engine, and these two small holes here ain't gonna do it. You could cut a hole here on the eyebrow of your cylinder and vent that in. I would probably just do one of those if I did it again that way. But anyway, for cooling air, I have lots of exhaust air cooling. So, and these engines do run warm. They're not, you know, they're not powerhouses, but they do have a lot of heat they generate, and you got to take that heat away. So I cut a lot of area out under the cowling to get plenty of room for that. This muffler is an aftermarket RC Specialties turbo header that gives you a nice right angle, 90 degree, and a little Dubro deflector to kind of keep it clean. Looking down from the top, that's where my fuel tank ended up. I did have it right up on the firewall, but I had to bring it back significantly, kind of for weight reasons, but also my fuel feed, the way the fuel line went through the firewall, it was just too much of a turn. I'm trying to focus it in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to. It was too much of a turn, and fuel feed issues were I could see that running it on the ground. So I drilled another hole that is over here. Again, sorry, it's hard to focus this. There you can see the hose kind of. But what I'll do is I'll overlay pictures while I'm rambling here. You can see what I've done. But once I did the secondary fuel routing, no issues at all. No bubbles made it through, you know, from the tank to the carburetor, and it's a nice clean run. Behind that is my IBEC, made by, again, Aero. That's what drives and powers my ignition, and it's essentially my kill switch. Now that's the light for it that indicates it's hot or not, and then below that with those capacitors, that's where I mounted the IBEC. Right behind that is my switch, which I like these Spectrum switches, just push button. They're real nice, very reliable. Over here's my ignition box, mounted behind kind of the fuel tank and the head of my throttle servo. My receiver's laying down on the floor behind there, and along with my two servos in the back and a satellite receiver that's kind of way back here in the back. So I know it's kind of a quick rundown. I know the build videos, I was doing a lot of stuff just kind of winging it, so to speak, but this thing was a lot of work doing the editing and the you know, filming, the editing, and the building part. Just trying to make this a good flying airplane. You know, I wanted to make sure it was fun, it was reliable, and safe, of course. So anyway, thanks for watching and hanging out. The whole part of it for me was just fun, just having fun. I like photography, video stuff, played with YouTube for a few years. Figured why not put one together on the old camera and show you guys how I do things. My next project is right here, over there. It's the new Seagull models from Legend Hobby. It's a P47. That's gonna have a nice big Saito on it as well. So I'm gonna start on that now that this one's done. Here's the big engine going on that bad boy. Told you I like Saitos. So we got a Saito FG-30, and on the back of it here, I've got a Walbro carburetor that's gonna fix this engine's main flaw, which is its carburetor. So anyway, thanks for watching. Here is the Maiden video, and it's a lot of rambling in that as well. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Now I see something on the screen. Yep, there you go. You're recording now.
Okay. Couldn't hear it. So that's up, that's down, that's left, that's right, left, right. I've already set my gyro up.
Throttle cut. Ground idle. Flight idle.
All right.
Did you do a range check?
Nah.
He's about to.
Well, this is, yeah, this is flown prior.
If he gets all the way out there in the corner, he knows it's good.
I guess that's strike one, right? Complacency.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'll carry that.
I'm gonna run it up real quick, probably a few times. Here, you want to hold radio for me?
Yep. Alright, touch the thing.
Alright, thank you, Fred. Go down here. You good if I come out?
Yeah, come on out.
All right. Coming out, Stacy.
Okay.
Left, right, up, down.
AS3S.
Take it off.
You have the most unexciting maidens I've ever seen. That's a compliment.
That's a nice cub.
That's a compliment, isn't it? Yeah, I guess I'll use the restroom now. The fun's over.
AS3X.
We're landing.
All right, clear.
Out of your way.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Oh.
Here on the ground, the wind's southwest.
Yeah, it's changing with altitude.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Right above the tree line, it's cleaner air up there.
Good.
Off. AS3X. Safe mode. AS3X.
I'm gonna try a low pass.
Flight idle.
Well, so far it feels good. All right, you're good.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
All righty, we're both up high.
That's a good time for it, though.
You can back that thing up.
Almost.
That is an old state.
Just a few clicks of trim so far, Fred.
That's one.
Ground idle.
And the motor's still running.
Feels clear. No, it isn't clear. Oh, my gosh.
Not bad for the first one. It's nice as I can go to idle and it slows down
Yes, sir.
and it stays running.
One minute.
It's got plenty of power. I thought it might be a little bit of a dog, you know.
Good mentioned that you thought it was heavy.
High rate. Mid rate.
Yeah, it's beautiful, that rudder too. That was
Yeah,
nice.
it tracked. That's hands-off rudder. I didn't even have to track anything.
That's beautiful.
I see one of my wheel pants is shifting. Yeah.
Oh.
30 seconds.
I programmed differential on my ailerons.
Good.
I don't know if it's enough or not. Let's find out. Let's point it right at us and do some rocking.
All right.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Doesn't wobble, does it?
Yeah, it's tracking the runway. I don't know how much I did initially, but I got lucky on it. He's up high. I'll squeeze in a touch and go. What a good flying plane, man. Let's go up high and see if it'll run upside down at all. Oh yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's actually not bad. I'm a little bit up elevator.
That really is.
Whoop. See that wheel pant skidding forward?
Minus 2 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna bring her in after he clears.
He's going around.
Full slip.
Get clear.
Oh, that wheel pant's really banged down now.
High rate.
I'm gonna come back in, Lowell. This is it. Thanks for spotting, Fred. Appreciate it.
Engine kill.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Other than that, that's the only thing I see is that wheel pant is a little bit shifted forward. But there, look, that's how he fixed that right there. I need to put a groove on there for my set screw.
Oh, okay.
So, man.
Timer reset.
Yeah, everything felt good. A little bit of trim. Actually, a lot of up trim. It was a little bit nose heavy still, I guess.
That was perfect, Jesse.
Look, got me a B riding. All right, chill out.
Pretty awesome, buddy.
That thing feels good, man. It's locked in. What are you guys spraying?
Low spots in the runway. So
Oh.
hey, your airplane.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna paint something. Hang on, I'm gonna sign it.
Run quick.
That's my audio and video recorder.
Oh, I thought you want me night flying tonight.
No.
That dadgum Cub look nice.
Yeah, that.
Has that got the twin in it?
No, this is the single cylinder, the 10cc.
Oh,
Tiny gas, yeah. A little dirty.
hey, get the other wheel on the runway, man. That thing's got two gears on the two wheels on the main gear. You don't want to wear them both out. Hey, you're gonna wear that left tire out before you wear that right tire out. You gotta
So after Maiden, I always like to just look over everything.
Oh, yeah.
I did some invert it, make sure the battery stayed in the spot. It did. Fuel tank didn't move at all.
Cub pilots, just when you start flying Cubs, you fly everything else the same way and land on one wheel.
It works so good. That's the secret of aviation as a Cub. Teach you everything you need to know. Whoa! That was a little wind shear. Whoa, thank you.
That'll teach you to land that thing on one wheel all the time.
So nothing's moved, servos, connections all look fine. Didn't lose any of our pins.
What you step back for, Mike?
Aileron, clevises are good.
That was nice.
Nothing there's moved.
I'm anxious to know what that material is.
It's braided, like a braided wire, but it's got a coating on it. There's another brand that I use for my gliders for pull cables.
Yes.
It's called Beadalon. Beadalon. And that stuff is thin. It's like 0.015 thousandths, 15 thousandths. And it's strong and it doesn't stretch. It doesn't heat, expand and contract. You don't have as much as you would with like a push rod. So Beadalon, that's the brand. It's on Amazon, but you could use that in place of that, just the same, it does the same thing, but they supply that. To me, that's a little heavier than it needs to be because there's really no tension on it. It's just more, it's a scale feature. I don't think they're really doing that much function, but the way I fly it one day, they might be doing a little bit more. So well, and look how much fuel's left. I had it topped off when I started running it earlier. That tank's 60% full.
That's great.
So, and I'm running it real rich because of the cowl, the temperature, trying to keep it cooler.
Did it run hot?
No, I never felt any loss of power at all. Saitos are, if they're running hot, they just cut off when they hit their limit. But if you run it hot before it hits its limit, you're doing a lot of wear, excess wear to it. So I want to make sure, and I can see all the black coming out of it. Look how dirty it is. It's doing its job. But that's fun though. It's a good flying plane. Well,
You set it up very well.
thank you. I'm gonna change radio stuff. I flew it in mid rates. I land on high. Mid rates, it felt good, but the pitch is still really sensitive. So,
Well, did it fly as good as the electric one?
I'm a little biased. I think this might have it beat.
Besides, it goes pop, pop, pop,
That's all
pop.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make better noise.
It makes better noise.
It's pretty awesome.
I definitely will agree.
Very nice.
Hopefully this wheel pant, see it's dragging, it's actually dragging on the top of the pant inside,
Okay.
but it's wearing itself down, so it shouldn't tip that wheel pant forward. So, but I just need to fly it more, that'll fix it. So, but yeah, it's a beautiful plane. I just put together.
What size engine do you have?
It's a Saito FG-11, which is 11 cc gas.
11 cc.
It's a 82 nitro, 0.82 nitro
Oh,
equivalent. So it's the same engine, it's just spark ignition versus glow. So, and it had a lot of power. It didn't feel underpowered at all. So, man, I don't think there's nothing else I'd fix on it. Tighten that up, program the radio, fuel her up and go.